Off to the stage. Silly, silly, silly. Hey, 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 everybody. What's going on? It is me, your girl, Laree K, and I am on Daddy's back porch. I have not spoke to y'all on TikTok. Hey, how y'all doing? I have not been live on TikTok in a minute. I have been over here. Hi, LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. And I just want to share what has been going on with Pi and with me. And so I'm really excited. Lots of wonderful things have been happening that I've been kind of just being quiet about and being in the background. But I'll tell you, when we are persistent and when you know what you are called to do and you stand in it, regardless of how many tests or how many trials or how many times life comes and tries to trip you up, trap you up, and keep you down, that you have got to know that there's that fire that's inside of you, inside your belly, that strength, that inner strength that you get, that we get when you're connected. It means that all those things are powerless. They got big wolf. They come with big S on their chest. Life and situations. And if we're not careful and if we forget who we are, we can get lost up in all the trials and all the tests. But those trials and tests don't come to get us caught up, y'all. They come to strengthen us. It's a perspective. It's a how we look at things. And so I happen to look at things from a very positive, spiritual perspective. And so that's why I know, and I've always known, that the day was going to come would start connecting and things would start working in my favor. And I believe that we are definitely in that season. And so I want to just share some updates of the work and why I have not been on TikTok, why I have not been on TikTok doing lives, but yet I have been streaming on these other platforms over here. Hi again, Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. So let me share with you. Number one, excuse me, for the past 12 weeks, I have been in a business accelerator out here. It was the second international cohort. So there's an organization called E for All, Entrepreneurs for All. They've been around. It was local, and it's 75% women owned, 75% minority owned as well. And over the last 4 or 5 years together, the graduates have made about $24 million, something like that. Excuse me if my statistics are off, but they're doing well, and their alumni are doing well. And so you had to pitch in order to get in the cohort. And so I pitched, I was selected. And so for the last 12 weeks, every Monday and Tuesday, I have been working with mentors and entrepreneurs. And through this process, I thought I was coming in to learn how to pitch. I was like, I've built it. And they said, if you build it, they'll come. But what happens when you build it and the community doesn't come? And so you're still doing the work by the women that are finding you because you're in the community, but the way that we know that the organization is supposed to function, it takes the women in our community to see and to say, yeah, that's it, and to join. And so when you don't have I'm not an influencer. I'm not, people don't know me. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for joining. I'm not an influencer. I am just a woman that believed in herself, a woman that believes that she is called to do wonderful things in the community, and a woman that doesn't believe that she has to ask permission or to go outside of herself and all that she knows that her spiritual self has got her through in life now at 58, the ripe age of 58, to go back and share with my community, doing it my way, doing it the way that allowed me to bloom, to heal, to rise, to grow. And that's what a community restoration specialist is, y'all. She's simply a woman that has faced so much in life, a woman who has a voice, who has a story that she has overcome. And not only overcome the obstacles, but she's also overcome the mindset of the destructive patterns that we have picked up, particularly as African American women. Now, hi, sweetheart, I invite all my sisters from the diaspora in the Caribbean to partake. And matter of fact, now that I've done so much more work, I realized that it's not just for people of color, but all nationalities could actually use the blueprint and return to their culture. Looking at the things that, thank you so much, looking at the things in our original cultures. Sankofa though, because we have a little more wisdom now. So those things that we know hurt, harmed, dangered our children, our women, we don't carry those parts of the culture forward. But the goodness of the culture, the foundation of how character and morals are implemented in everybody's original nationality, cultural tribe. In our own cultural tribe, we also know and understand agriculture, herbal medicine, how to share the earth with the earth. And so if you think back, so many and everybody can use the blueprint. So during the time in this accelerator, so many things happened and changed with my organization. Number one, we are still PI. However, we are pathways to inspiration and empowerment. That is our nonprofit, where we go back into the community, our women, and we walk with them and we guide them and we help reshape communication between mothers and daughters and women in just the sisterhood, as well as give the professional tools, the restorative tools, and then place that all into workforce development. So here comes now Purification's International Enterprise. We didn't get rid of it, we moved it over to our for-profit. Within our for-profit, now once you're certified in community restoration and you have your certification, which is good within inside of our ecosystem, we move you on over here, where now you can get contracted out and get paid. So over here is our for-profit, and our for-profit houses contracts. So all of the meetings that I've been doing, all of the running around, all of the throwing things out and saying I'm hosting this, I'm doing that, and all of these things that I've been doing for all these years, that seems as though nobody was, the community wasn't coming. They weren't latching on. They weren't hearing what I was saying. And I understand now why. Because how I didn't really know how to say what I was doing because I do so much. But how do you convey all the different aspects of what it is that I do? From the marketing to the healing to the training to all the different things, to the walking with the young ladies, without sharing my whole life story the minute that you meet me. My pitch. I said, my pitch is off. I've built it. We got the online school. Matter of fact, I have 26 years of living proof. They want to talk about something being evidence-based. Got living proof. 26 years and counting of young women whose lives I've come into and I've been blessed to walk with and whose lives have changed. Some of those young women now here, ready to open chapters in their state and teach. And here's something else about being able to listen to your divine ear and taking the time to really, truly sit to find out what your purpose is. Big up, sis. To find out what your purpose really is, because we all have a purpose. Thank you for the love. We all have a divine purpose. And the goal is to get in tune with that. But we allow everything else in this world to grab our attention, and we forget that we're here for a real purpose. And so when you tap into that and you hold on to it, no matter what you go through, you're not going to be shaken. You're not going to come out of it. When I started this journey in 2009, when I surrendered my life and said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give up my career and I'm going to follow my calling. And this today, what I have is the accumulation of all those years of being in the community, driving across the country, sitting with girls in Detroit, driving to New Orleans, driving to Nevada, driving back to Sacramento, all the places, driving back to Massachusetts, all the places that I have been, and I literally immersed myself into those communities. Got to meet the young ladies in the communities, got to meet the people in the communities that had the nonprofits, got to meet the business people, got to meet the people in the community that were in office. Because when I come into a community, I come in and I do statistics and I look at things and then I talk to people and I engage myself in the community and then I offer my services. And so now being back home in my home state of Massachusetts, where in my hometown there really was no population for me to do what I was doing. However, there's population now. So enough of the backstory. Let's get to the stuff where what's going on. So since being in the accelerator, we changed our branding. So no longer Pi Purifications International Enterprise as our for-profit. That is now our nonprofit. We are now Pathways to Inspiration and Empowerment. Okay. What I do is I go into the community and I talk with young women, and I share my story. We write books is one of the things that we do. I give them about 3 or 4 different ways to earn income. And not only that, but we're actually building the organization. We're building the nonprofit as well. Um, to start, we simply need 25 women. The cost, 13.25. The length of time, 18 months. Here's another thing. I started out as being trauma informed, and we are licensed. I am licensed, certified, trauma informed. I did all their training. The organization itself is $2,500 shy of having our level 1 trauma informed organization designation. So we've done the paperwork. It's just we have not got our title. However, they know we use no Western frameworks. Everything comes from lived experience from myself, as well as the journey of the young women who I've been walking with for 3 decades. And so this has not always been a program, it has really been a lifestyle, my lifestyle, making myself available to young women wherever I was, whatever community I was in, and opening my door, helping, leading, and guiding them for years before it became a nonprofit. It was in 2009 that I finally realized this isn't just that I just don't do this because I've been doing it since I was 18. So 2009, 17 years ago, I'm 58, do the math. I'm in my 40s. And I realized I'm getting older. I got this calling. This ain't, and I don't like it in corporate America. I made it all the way up the top, making good money, training physicians, keeping them out of trouble as a data quality compliance auditor. Work for the naval base and train naval doctors, and I forget, Travis Air Force Base. I've done a lot. After that, I came out and I became a teacher and was at the community colleges, and I taught students in Nevada and Arizona, California, in New Orleans how to do medical billing and coding. So left it all that money to follow my calling. For all this time, and I look up now and look at what I have and all the people I've been able to meet, and now the doors are flying open. I haven't even left my porch. I'm getting contacts. I can't tell you right now who they're from because we're in negotiations. But once it's confirmed, I'll come and I'll share with you. But I didn't leave my porch for this major organization, marketing organization, to come in and say, love what you're doing. We're getting ready to take over your marketing. And not only that, but we also own printing. And so we're going to print up everything that you need in your uniforms, because the CRS specialists have to have our uniforms when we're in the community. And so we're coming. As I want to encourage y'all, if you're out there and you know that what you've been given is serious medicine for the community, don't let the hard times change your heart. Those times come not to make us bitter, but to make us better. Those times come to make sure that we remain humble for when the blow up, the glow up, the spotlight comes. Because we've been here. I've been here in the community for 3 decades. Everything out of my own pocket, haven't asked for anything. And here's the last thing I want to say. I built it so that the community, once y'all realize what it is and support it, we don't need funding. We won't need funding. 25 women at the discounted rate of $13.25, 18 months worth of training. We go beyond trauma informed. We do restoration. Trauma informed, I believe, is 60 hours. Our training is 18 months. It is not just coming about bringing certifications. It is not just about saying we have this many graduates. No, it is about really going through, understanding who you are, being brought to yourself. We also have the Queen Mothers coming back, our elders. As I sat with the Queen Mother yesterday and told her, now we are complete. We cannot be complete with me being the elder, because I am the elder in my organization, but I am not the elder in the community. I am the next generation of elder, moving to elder very quickly. However, if we're going to really do our culture, we must do our culture accordingly. And so now that mother is here, and the more mothers will join. So if you happen to know a mother, a queen mother, that is a melanated woman who is 65 or older, and she doesn't have to have a bunch of degrees and be distinguished in the community as our inaugural mother is, and she is a blessing. Y'all go to my website, check her out, Dr. Mother Diama Battle. You can go to our website, piepurifications.com, and check her out under Queen Mother tab. But yeah, the Queen Mom, that's it now. Now we're in order, because now we have the elder, myself, and then as we go forward. So yeah, it's very, very important. So a traveler, I don't know about all that. Honestly, I'm not into all that political stuff like that. I am building my own, and you know, I don't know, Obama and Trump and all that stuff. I don't really get political to that point. I don't feel like I have to wait for politics to go back and bring restoration to my community. And I want to share that with my community. The fact that I did not wait. I did leave corporate America. I did the most scariest thing that you could do for some people, and I didn't have a big plan. I just had faith. And out of that, I survived. I hit some hard times, guaranteed in the beginning, but I survived. Okay? I survived. And I believe when you live a good life and you plant so many seeds, I didn't have to really worry about a door being open for me. And so it wasn't as devastating as many people might have thought, or what people had to deal with when the finances just were no longer there. And I had to start, renting rooms. I rented rooms for, I think, like a decade. But it was beautiful because I was free to do the things that I needed to do in the community and meet the people and travel and not be tied down to, like, I live in a whole different system than 99% of the people that I know. Most people have to wait till retirement to do and live the life that I live now and I've been living. And so it all come and came, and just keep the faith and just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And when I needed to work, I would work in the places that I end up weren't corporate America. Wasn't corporate America. But every place that I ended up, um, not that level that I was at when I first started. I went way back to like daily labor sometimes, being on the bus with the fiends and the convicts at 3 o'clock in the morning, to stand in line to hope that, you got the ticket so they'd send you out to get that job for the day, and then be on the bus and doing laundry. I'd never seen such big laundry, things in my life because the job was cleaning the sheets for all the hotels in Reno. And the laundry units were so big that you literally got up on the ladders to put the clothes in, and just like little stuff like that. I've done all types of crazy jobs when you would think with all of my background and all the money that I was making, but those were, to me, times of humbling. To me, those were times of humbling and bringing me back to the people in the community that I said that I wanted to help, because I had been so far away from having to live paycheck to paycheck. I had been so far away from that. And even though, what is going on? Hold on. I don't know what's going on with my TikTok. Something just popped up. Okay, I don't know. Something just popped up on my TikTok. So, anyways, but yeah, see, and now it threw me off my story, y'all. It threw me off my story. I'm like, y'all just disappeared for a minute. Anyways, it's been something else. But you keep on holding on, right? You keep on holding on, and you just keep on knowing. And I realized it was all just to press me. It was all to press me, because when you're holding your true assignment up against the world, you look different. You look completely different, and people don't understand. And when you don't know how to convey that, and I've been given this beautiful, beautiful structure, a blueprint that literally works and has been working in the community for 3 decades with the young women that I've been able to meet and walk with. But knowing that it was so much more than just the women that happened to meet me. So when I got shot and I died and I left this earth for 4 days and I returned, is when I realized that I cannot keep playing small, and that it's not just for me, but this is really something that needs to get out, and I need to put everything into it. And so I've been in a 12-week accelerator. I have been a part of a trustees Essex County Community Fund since April up until I think June. I was training with them and learning from them. I'm a part of Community Inroads, which are all the directors and CEOs in Merrimack Valley. Um, and then I'm a part of numerous organizations in the inner city. Again, being in for E for All changed everything. It changed our marketing, changed our logo, it changed everything and really streamlined us. And we're so ready to go. We're so ready to go. And so I'm so excited. And so last night I pitched. So the end of the accelerator was everybody had 10 minutes to pitch. And we were supposed to pitch how being in the accelerator has helped us in, our organizations. And if they're going to scale it from that lens, of what they said we were supposed to do, then I should win. Just from that alone, just from that alone. There were a lot of great people. It's going to be hard to decide who's going to win, but if they're scaling it according to, how did being in the accelerator, transform or help you build, I think hands down. Because like I said, I went in thinking I needed a pitch, and I came out with a whole revamped organization, new logo, new branding, new value proposition, knew everything. And because of that, we already have been picked up by a major branding company. So that's what's up. Oh, the Multicultural Bullying Festival next year, 2027, in Haverhill, Massachusetts, my hometown. I am hosting a multicultural anti bullying and gun prevention awareness. This is more than just a festival. The game plan is to be able to go and get 50 people in my community using a similar blueprint that I use for my personal nonprofit. I will use a similar blueprint and create 50 minimum neighborhood navigational specialists. By this time next year, when school is out, they will be in the community. Okay? This is the long-term goal. This right here is picking up traction. We already have some famous R&B people that we're in works with that are planning to come. We have spoken with many organizations that are jumping on board. The city is now with us. So we are moving. I am moving. And if you're in the Massachusetts area, Merrimack Valley area specifically, or if you know somebody and you're looking to vendor, especially if you do things like self defense, if you have positive music, um, bully prevention, anything like that, things that anything that you can bring into the community that's healing. Do you do sound healing? Do you do herbal medicine? You know, let's talk about it. Are you another trauma informed specialist? Like, let's go. Let's get your booths out here. Who are you? Who are the people in our neighborhood? And so that's what I go back to. That's why I'm the community restoration specialist. I draw people back together. And I tell people, listen, we need to get back to Mr. Rogers and remember who are the people in our neighborhood, in our neighborhood, in our neighborhood. Who are the people in our neighborhood? Because it's the people that we meet when we're walking down the street, the people that we meet each day. And we stop walking down the street, we stop knowing our neighbors. And because of this, our children are in the community running amok. And I live in the suburbs. I don't live in the inner city, and we have gangs. We have the middle schools bullying is gotten out of control. We have young children being disrespectful to parents who are in mourning and still bullying. And of course, for myself, gun violence, because now I walk disabled because a young man decided to pick up a gun and fire it into my body 3 times. And so we, as a community, cannot wait and should not continue to wait on other people, the police, the courts, city officials, to jump in to our own communities. And this is why, as I was speaking to one of the city officials yesterday, this is why it's imperative that those that I train come from out of the community that I am training. And that is not me training other people to come into the community. So I'm calling forth the aunties, the big mamas, the uncles, the poppies, the abuelas, those that are already in the community that the kids already know and who already know the kids, to come on out and let's do some things and let me show you how to put some things together, because no child should be having to deal with the level of trauma that our children are dealing with in any community. In any community. And so it's enough, is enough, is enough. And here's the other thing, not waiting on funding. Shouldn't have to wait on funding. And here's a hard one, but I'm going to speak it. If you're a church or if you're a ministry and you're in an area where there is a nonprofit organization that is actually doing the work in your community and you don't have no real services for your community, you need to be taking some of that tithe and giving it to that nonprofit organization who's actually doing the work. And I'm telling you, because in our community, the African American community, we bring in trillions of dollars per week in tithes and offering. I digress. We bring in trillions of dollars a year in spending. Weekly in tithes and offerings, it is multiple millions of dollars if you put all of the churches together on a weekly basis. So that means the church and entertainment is where we put the most of our money as African Americans. We know entertainers are not coming back to help our community. They're not going to be the ones. And we've sat around and we've watched over and over and over the same game plan with the music, the videos, the entertainment, and how it programs the youngsters in our community. They don't have a new game plan. It's the same thing. But yet we have not did anything to stop it. But we're in a season now. We're in an awakening now where people are recognizing and voices are coming forth. Not just India Arie, but many people are now coming forth and finally understanding the frequency and vibration and why our children certainly need us to come back into the community. So being a community restoration specialist is somebody, again, who has been through life, that has come and understood, unplugged. That's what the 18 months is. The 18 months is unplugging, disconnecting, purifying, realigning with your spiritual self. I'm not giving you a spiritual remedy as far as name, claim, and I'm not doing that. I am leaving you, though, for you to determine who that is in your life. However, how to get there and purify and cleanse yourself is all the same. So that time to unplug and that time to reconnect, that accountability, which leads to our character being changed, which leads to now us being able to hear and obtain our piece of the pie of what we're supposed to be doing on this earth, so that we can get some type of peace. And we don't have to wait for permission. So again, the two places the African American money goes: entertainment, that's football, baseball, music, movies, gaming, all of that entertainment that we spend our money on. And of course, you got to put fashion in there too. And tithing. So I challenge the churches. Because you have our people. You have the dedicated ones, whether it be in the church, the mosque, wherever y'all collecting the money. If you don't have programs for the community, real programs for the community, I challenge you to go find a nonprofit in your community that is literally doing what needs to be done, because especially knowing that African American nonprofits, we are not funded, especially under this new administration. But if we're the frontline soldiers in the community, if we're the frontline soldiers, the real frontline soldiers, not the ones sitting on the front line of the altar on Sunday, but the ones who are really in the daggone community, the ones that are dealing with those that are coming out of sex trafficking, domestic violence, drug addiction, those that have low self-esteem, those that are even in college that are dealing with things because they are spiritual and don't want to be a part of the world. The mothers who have the sons who are now grown and they're petrified and there's no men around to talk to these boys. So they're picking up guns and shooting us. I've traveled America. There are more churches in the community than playgrounds, in jobs, for people who look like us. So the ones that are out there, if we can remain steadfast and unmovable through going through in helping those, really helping with no financial backing, with no spotlight, but out here doing the work in the will of divinity. Those checks should be coming to organizations like mine, like Pi. Because what we don't need another building. We don't need you to beautify your building. We don't need another Christian gospel song, rap song. We don't need another, whether it be whatever denomination it is. What we need is for us to come back together outside to bring healing to our community. Real healing. In those of us that have been removed from the matrix and have been reconnected to divinity and can hear, have an assignment, toe the line. This woman said to me, back in 99 around, I was at this church that I had started a summer food program for my street that I was on. And I realized that the babies weren't eating, some of them weren't eating, and I couldn't keep feeding them. So I called the city and said, hey, where I was from back in Massachusetts, we had something they called the summer food program. Do you have something like that? They said, yeah, you got to get 3 more mothers on the street to agree to do it with you. So I went and told them, drunkens, whatever, no, you're going to sign this, you're going to do this. I'll take care of everything, but you're going to do this. And you're going to stand here with me during these hours with nothing in your hand to drink, and I will take care of it all. And so I did that, and then I realized that the babies still weren't getting the food. So after fighting and moving everything to in front of my house and order them extra so they could have dinner. I decided it was too much. I'm going over to the local church. I didn't know who they are, what they are, but it's a church and they're in the neighborhood. And I said, hey, listen, can I give you this program? And they said yes. So this is how I end up being at that church this particular day with my kids going to pick up lunch. As I'm in line, two women from the church come and tap me. I said, oh Lord, because at this time I was still running from my calling, right? I said, oh Lord, every time I step foot in a church or anything spiritual, they got to find me. I mean, I'm just here to pick up lunch, you know. So I said, okay. She said that she want to talk to you. I said, okay. So I go over to her. And as I'm starting to approach her, her armor bearers block me and say, no, you can't go no further. And I'm thinking to myself, well, isn't this rude? You invite me over here. And then, as I get closer to you, as a normal conversation would, I can't, I can't touch you. I can't go past this barrier. I thought that was very strange, very odd. I understand it now. But anyway, so the woman says, no, 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 let her come to me. And so I come. She said, give me your hands. I placed my hands in her hands. Next thing you know, this woman's jumping up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, goes on the floor and it's like she's having little seizures. Her armor bearers are looking at me like, what did you do to her? And I'm like, yo, I didn't do anything, right? So when all of that was done and she came back and she said to me, the price you're going to have to pay for your calling, I would not want to walk in your shoes. The price you're going to have to pay for your calling. And she was just shaking. And I said, what did you see? What did you see? And she said, it's not for me to tell you. She said, but hold on. Hold on. She said, but my God, the price you're going to have to pay for your calling to get to where you're supposed to be. That was 2 decades ago. And when I left my job in 2009, because I knew it was time to start this walk, not knowing where it was going to lead me, not understanding, just knowing such a feeling on the inside that I could not shake, that I had to walk away from the world. I had to walk away from everything that I thought that I knew. And I just had to lean in and I had to just trust. And because of that, this organization exists. Because of that, this blueprint has been working with young women all across the world. Though nobody knows me, I have young women all across the world that have walked with me, that know me, that I've supported, that I've loved. And now we're ready to really put it in motion, like the real deal. And listen to the blessing of this. With only 25 women coming through and following the blueprint, at the end of 18 months, if only 10 of them, if only they duplicated the process and only had 10 people come in instead of 25. We just went from helping 25 women to 250 women. And we just earned $331,000. Let's say that at the end of 18 months, only 12 women decide to stay with us and continue on in the ecosystem. And they only get 10 women. They don't get the full 25. They only get 10 women to come. We just helped 120 women. and that's 159,000. That's without a grant. That's simply the community coming in and learning how to help the community and learning how to build business within the community. So that's what I've been doing. And now the spotlight is on. So hold on. Greetings, sis. Shalom. Hold on. Don't let other people gauge your timing or your success, especially when you know it is from divinity. All you have to do is trust and know that all those tests, if you're going through major tests, you got something major. And it's going to come to pass. I survived. They say, what? The race is not given to the strong or to the swift, but those that endure to the end. Well, I've made it to the end. The end of what? The end of my assignment. It's here. It's packaged and it's ready. And now we watch divinity do what divinity will do. As I haven't left the porch on Daddy's porch, and already major, 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 major endorsement has come to me. And so stay tuned. I will be sharing, and I thought like the last time that a opportunity came for us to do something on a more national level, and we let it go. Um, it wasn't time. It wasn't for us, and we humbly backed out of that contract. That's discernment as well. You see, you can't just take everything. Everything you got to. When you're being led, even the things that look good, you can't eat off the plate. And sometimes you don't understand why. It's all good. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And you might even be able to come back to it later on. So that's why you don't burn your bridges. But even when you don't understand, you have to lean in. You have to lean in. And when we learn to lean in and to stand, even if we look crazy, even if we feel like we're out there by ourselves, and even if other people don't understand us, hold on. Because what showed up next is so much bigger. So much bigger of a platform. And I didn't leave my porch. I didn't ask for it. Somebody else seen what I was doing and shot my information to a major network. And now we're in negotiations. And it's not even a fact of whether or not it's going to happen. No, they're doing it. It's not a fact. It's not a if or ands or maybes. And so, and then with that came, by the way, we also own a printing shop. We got your uniforms. We got your accessories. We got it. Why? Because they've seen what it is that I do. And they understand how needed it is in our community. Pi Purifications with the S.com. Go check us out. Check us out. If you're in the Massachusetts area, Check out our multicultural festival coming in 2027. Um, we unofficially, but officially have um, now. I'm away. I'm away. We have some R&B artists that already signed on. Three groups from the '90s. Three R&B groups from the '90s are already a yes. So we just have to get some things signed, done. Um, Radio stations. The other day I was out at the park talking to somebody, and when I was done talking, the other woman that was sitting beside the woman I was talking to stands up and says, "By the way, I'm a reporter for the Lawrence Eagle Tribune, and I'd love to report your story." And so I'm like, doors are just opening. And so when you stay in alignment, continue believing, and continue doing the work, because sooner or later it's no longer work. Talking to my big sister about that today. This is not work. It's play. It's playtime. And being disconnected from the 9 to 5, being disconnected from having to live like that for so many years, being free to go where I want to go, when I want to go, whether it's driving a car across a country or getting on a plane and going across the country and spending months on in the Caribbean, or whatever I want to do, I can do, and I do, because that's the freedom. And I'm not hurting. Haven't been hurting financially for a long time, for a very long time. And when I got pewed, I lost everything. Contracts couldn't work, money, everything gone, except for one contract, the Mass Women of Color Network, who I'm still with. That's a whole nother tool thing that we're training. KBSI, let me give KBSA, let me give the shout out, Keeping Black Survivors Alive. It's a 40-hour toolkit that I co-consulted with some dynamic people, women, and we are training that right now in the state of Massachusetts. But we are virtual, so you can um, find out about that if you go to my webpage, piepurifications.com, under community partners. Scroll down, you'll see KBSA. There's a link there, and it will take you to tell you more about that project and how you can get involved in that project and get training if you are a first responder, police, hospital, social worker, whatever. If you work with our population when they are actively in trauma, this toolkit is something that you should partake in. Okay. So that's another project that I do and am a part of. So, yeah. So we have the festival, the multicultural festival next year. I am looking for people. Like I said, we have 4 locked in, but still negotiating. Artists from the '90s, R&B artists, 3 groups. Um, there's an award-winning affirmation speaker that I've been talking to and told her I'm going to get you, so she'll be included. And then we're looking for locals. So yeah, that's it. That's me. This is what we've been up to. Um, and the last thing, taking my exam from UC Berkeley, Cultural Humility Center. Um, and then all my schooling and training for this year, I can put to rest. So there you have it. Brand new organization, revamp and branding, name, logo, same dynamic programs. We're looking for 25 women that are ready to come and rock it. Get your own platform. We do so many things for you to help you understand your greatness. And it does not matter where you're at, okay? And if you cannot afford the 1325, by the way, we have payment plans for that. But if you're in the situation and you can't even afford that, we do make room for 25 women that we will go ahead and stipend to go through. And so that's what we're working on right now for grants. That is what we're looking for. Until the blueprint starts working, when the blueprint starts working, all that money that's coming in from those that can pay, what you're doing is that money is going back into the organization and you're handing it down to a sister in the community that cannot pay. Okay? So we're talking about restoration. Yes, community restoration. And so that's what we're doing. I'm not taking the money and going and buying red bottoms. I'm not taking the money that's coming in that we're making and going and buying fancy materialistic things. I'm using that money to actually go now into shelters, go into the places that I've always been, on the streets, to the young women that can't afford it, the opportunity to actually be in an organization that will change their life for the rest of their life. And it's proven, factual, because this is how I simply been living. So I have the living proof of the young ladies whose life, being in my life, has changed their life. And now they're in position. And some of them are already out there. Some of them are already out there, got their own butterflies doing their own thing. But they're still a part of our greater community. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that when you take the time, when you really take the time to sit with us, to know us, and to get through those uncomfortable things, because it's growing pains in any relationship, not just romantic relationships, but relationships with anybody. If you're going to have a real, transparent, real relationship, not your representative, then there's going to be that time of growing pains, of getting to know one another. And if you can get through that, if you can get through me standing in my truth and saying that didn't feel good, that's not what I was thinking or how I was feeling, and quite frankly, it's just off. But I appreciate it, but it didn't feel good. And by the way, that happens to be one of my triggers. When people used to do that to me, when I used to be in the church and they used to be, oh, God's got a word. And I knew that it was fake and it was broken. Not saying that that's you, not saying that that's what you're doing, but it's my trigger. So if you love me and I love you as I love you, and we can have this conversation, that does not bring division, but it brings conversation. So now I can hear, because maybe what I said and how I said it obviously hurt. So don't run. Don't run. We can't heal like that. We have to get past and have that conversation, because what happens when you do that is then that solidness, once you get past that and you can understand that both of us have traumas, both of us have triggers, nobody's perfect. Even in the most givenest love of container that I could provide, I am not perfect. I could say some stuff in a way that can come off weird to somebody else that doesn't know that my heart, though, my heart that has no intent for hurt. It's just I'm still growing too. And so when we give each other that room and we're allowed to actually really be ourselves and we find our voice, now we're ready to move forward into all that healing that we need. And now we know we got our backing. Now it's another feeling once you know that you got sisters that really love you and are down for you and are they're not movable. And when you're in the community and they say something or somebody says something, that you're going to be quick to be like, not my sister. That's not her character. Because we have to start showing those that are hurt and those that are broken how to heal. And if we can't figure it out how to heal, but we're saying we're the healers, how do those that don't even know about healing, regeneration and restoration, how do they get out of the mud? When all we see in society is toxicity. Toxicity in sisterhood, toxicity in relationships, toxicity. Where's the true love? Who's teaching on character and morals and standards? And things that will give us productivity so that we can move ahead. But in order to do that, we have to decolonize, which means we have to heal. And we have to be allowed to heal. And to allowed to be different. You don't have to be like me to get this healing. You don't have to believe like me to get this healing. Because true love, regardless of what you want to name it, the root of true love, regardless of what you want to name it, how you want to title it, if you're connected to it, develop within each and every one of us a character, a moral standard that is far above how we see things being done in this world today. It is far exceeds what this world will label as love, which once you take the time to sit with true love and study true love, that what you see is actually pseudo love in the highest form and degree. And there's so many aspects of it in the matrix of the world, which is why we have to separate, unplug. You say, where you been? I'm not spending my time on social media. I'm not trying to make a money or become a guru, because I understand that now attaches me back to the matrix again. I come on my set times to come on. That's it. Today is a bonus day because I haven't been on in so long. But if you remember, I started coming on all the time and my numbers started going up really fast. I was going. And I realized, hold on a second. Am I running social media or is social media running me? Because I don't have to try to make that fast money. Why? Because I disconnected and I got my assignment. And I told you, with 25 women running my assignment, that's $331,000. That's just 25 women. I've been all over the country and internationally. So now that I've done what I was supposed to do, now that I'm trustworthy to hold the vision and to hold the assignment, now that I have gone through every single test that somebody can go through, including being dead, shot 3 times. And that's when I realized, it's time to stop playing with what I have and get serious about what I have. Because what I have is proven, and it changes lives and transforms lives. And it's not something that I'm trying to do. It's not something that I decided to do because of COVID or because of this or because of that or because of who's in office. This is something I've been doing consecutively for 3 decades. Half the time not even knowing it was gonna turn into this. But when I took the call in 2009 and walked away from my career at the height of making the most money I've ever made in my life, job security in nowhere but six figures in my sights, from all that I had been through, with no woman to come and teach me, because my mama died of cancer when I was coming into womanhood. All that I have endured, the domestic violence, the drug addiction, the homelessness, all the things that I had endured with no woman coming to get me, and finding out that when I turned around and helped another young woman, that was the medicine. That was the key to changing my life. And so I started helping as many as I could. And now here I am. That was 18 years old when I got my first mentee. I'm 58 now. And I have an online school. I have books, curriculum. I have trained more women across the country individually, just off of life. So all this is business is new coming out here. It's new, but I'm thankful that I stayed the course. I'm thankful that I've stayed the course. And like I said, now I live like most people. I've been living like most people wait till they're 65. And now they keep going, the retirement age keeps going up. Oh, baby, no. I work for me. I have not a care in the world. I'm provided for. And now my company's getting ready to explode. Now, sitting on my back porch, I got a phone call. And one of the number one marketing stations has just picked me up. Because they're like, we need you in the community. People need you and what you do in the community. I'm thankful. I was talking at the park the other day. Didn't know there was a reporter right there. I was talking to her daughter, had no idea. The pathway just opening. Stay the course. And if other people don't understand, doesn't matter. It does not matter. We have to stop worrying about what other people think. And if they don't get it, I mean, spiritual people don't get me. I don't care. I'm out doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And like I said, to my churches out there, because I've driven the country and I know how many churches are out there in the communities and how many churches saturate the community. And the community is in shambles. But you have the tithes, you have the people. Why not partner with the nonprofit? Break off some of them tithes into the nonprofit. Because we as African American charities do not get funded in this country. Before the Trump administration came in, we only got 1% of the funding. Now, we're not getting anything unless we change all of our wording in everything. You're not getting anything. So why not help those that are on the front line for real? Because the front line doesn't mean those that get to sit in the front of the pew, or those that get to sit behind the pastor in the pulpit. That is not the front line. The front line are organizations like mine. And so why not partner? Because guess what? If you do that, then your financial flow will gain. You can't get blessings like this. But if you're like this, you can give and receive. Because guess what? A lot of churches think we can't write for grants, or we never get it. Why? Because they look at the fact that you got tithe, you got in-house fundraising every week. They're like, what are you doing with it? But when you come and you partner with an organization like mine that's actually on the front line doing things, now guess what? That takes you out of just being a religious organization, and now you're a community like you're supposed to be. And there's a way that you write that. And now guess what? Now you get blessed too, because now they will fund you. There are so many ways that we should be helping one another. There are so many ways that we should be helping one another. And so I come in not to talk about the problems, I bring solutions. I'm not the woman that's going to sit there and listen to you when I come into your organization, because I do consultations all the time with CEOs of all races. Okay. And there's so many ways we could be helping one another, and we should be helping one another. And that's what I do. Community restoration specialist. I'm about solutions. I do not like coming into an organization and they tell me all the things that they've tried and they cannot do. And I said, well, do this A, B, C, D. Well, we've tried that. No, you didn't try it this way. I understand, as an entrepreneur and as a visionary entrepreneur, that all I do is entrepreneur work right now. I don't understand. No, I understand strategy. And because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm not an employee, I don't have the same mindset. Somebody who is a full-time entrepreneur and somebody who is a full-time employee, we do not share the same mindset. So a lot of these people that come to me are in corporate America. So they have all these puppet strings upon them that they have to maneuver to get what the things that they want. This is another reason why I created my own organization. So I don't like to have nobody puppeting me, and I don't need nobody's permission to do what the hell it is that I do. And no, I don't have to go to your school to sit for years and learn how to go back into the community and help a young woman out of the mud. When my whole life I've been getting pulled out of the mud through my spiritual ear. It wasn't a doctor. It wasn't the DSM. And I'm not against any of that. I'm just saying, for different people, there are different avenues and pathways. In the pathway that I found, although I started in the trauma informed and that to see what they were doing, I realized I don't want to use the word trauma informed. That's their stuff. We're restoration specialists. We're restoration specialists. We do a whole lot more. The trauma informed, I think, is 60 hours in the state of Massachusetts. Our course is 18 months. It's not just about graduating. It's not just about numbers. It's about really making sure that you are ready and you are equipped to be that container and that vessel of true love, and that you are purified and that you know your assignment, and you come in now and you go, okay, I got the skills to do marketing. Okay, I got the skills to do this. And we keep on building and keep on going. And we build companies. It's really simple. It's really simple. And we bring in all the money, so we don't even need grants. Once it gets going, I tell you, 25 women that understand what I'm talking about and are ready to make your own platform. Stop asking about permission. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it and want to jump in on this blueprint for 1325, 18 months of training. Only 1325. Where can you find a certification in America, that gives all that we're giving and then has the job for you at the end? And then have a job for you at the end. So Lauryn Hill said it best. Life is so simple, but we rather make it hard. We put all these stipulations on ourselves. We put all these roadblocks up because of our differences. I can't work with you because you this. I can't work with you because you're that. All that's baloney. I look at your character. I don't care about your title. I'm looking at your character. Your character is going to tell me all I need to know. I will know within the first 5 minutes of speaking to you where you at. Most of us, to tell you the truth, are in the middle, in transition, looking, seeking. I haven't arrived yet. Every day I push spiritually. Every day I push to make sure that my character and that what I'm doing is forthright. Every day I'm trying to make sure that I'm a container of light. Right now, back on my diet again, right? Back on saying, you know what? I can't be putting death in my body talking about I'm a radiant light. Now that's just me. He'll eat whatever he want to eat. That's him. I tell people I don't judge that. I'm looking at your character. Because you can say that you don't eat pork and all this other type of stuff and all this stuff and have a nasty disposition about yourself. That's why I don't look at titles. Titles don't mean nothing to me. I don't want to debate. I don't care if it's not building us, if it's not solution based, drilled down in true love. I do not want to have the conversation because we have work to do. And I'm of the mindset of those that are ready to do things and not just talk about it. And not, well, I'm waiting for the greater collective. I'm doing my little share. And I've been doing my little share, and you can do your little share too. And I've never been funded. I've helped more girls than many of these programs that I know of successfully. Why? Because they're all still in my life for the most part, doing very well. So it works. And I'm just grateful after all these years, 17 years of pushing since I left my corporate job, driving up and down the country, now internationally, and the spotlight is here. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. The contracts are contracting right now. Wonderful things are happening. And the beauty of it all is not just the finances that help me help more women, but it's the fact that we cannot be successful unless the community is being transformed. We can't be successful unless we're talking and grabbing all these sisters and showing them and teaching them and having them go through the restorative process, the purification process, mind, body, everything. Cleanse their lens and remind them who they are. Putting our elders before them and having our elders speak to us and reminding us of the DNA, the blood, the strength of the women that we come from as melanated women. Because what we are being shown, all that spin that mentality is not us. And it's been far too long that the spiritual community has been running behind. And it's time for us to come together, you heard, and clean some stuff up. From my heart to yours, I'm Sister Arike, the Community Restoration Specialist, CEO and founder of Pathways to Inspiration and Empowerment, as well as Purifications International LLC, which is coming, our for-profit. And we have a multicultural festival coming up July 2027 in Merrimack Valley, Essex County, my hometown. Anti-bullying and gun prevention. We're more than a festival. We're training 50 neighborhood navigation specialists to be ready and deploy into the communities by this time next summer. We can do this all over the country. It is duplicatable, and we need to. Parents, stop waiting for the police, especially in our community. Stop waiting for this court system. Stop depending on these organizations that truly don't have our healing in mind. Because the one thing that we definitely need as African Americans that we've never had the opportunity to have is the opportunity to really sit and heal from all the trauma. Every day, it's another trauma, community wise. Somebody's hung, somebody's somebody's beat up, somebody's left for dead, somebody's shot, somebody's stabbed. Whether it be from another community member or whether it be from with inside our own community, it is time to stop the bleeding. And the way to do that is we have to come outside the house. We have to get back in the community and do it constructively. And I'm trying to tell you what I do works because I have a stack of young women behind me that walked with me. I just teach how I live. It's not a big ta-da, some special thing. It's not some major formula. It's understanding true love, walking in it, embracing it, and letting it become who you are, and your character shows it. And when you do that, you put out a frequency of goodness. And not to say that bad things don't happen still. Not to say you won't get shot. Not to say things won't happen. The difference is it doesn't consume me or take away from who I am. It didn't consume me. It didn't throw me into depression. It did all these things that the DSM says that I should be doing right now. Crying out, why? Why did it happen? Oh God, I can't function because somebody tried to take my life. It doesn't happen that way. Spiritually, you want to know why? Because I walk in the spirit. So I knew why it happened. It happened because I didn't listen. It happened because I didn't listen. I had 3 warnings. Before I got on the plane to come back to Massachusetts to take that contract, my spirit said, do not go back to that house. Stay with the women that you're working with. Understand, I'm coming back to my hometown. I've been away for 20 something years. I come back, leave, but I'm coming home to stay. So spirit was like, listen, when you get back there, that old crew, void, null and void. Stay with the women that you're on the contract with. So I did that for months. And then July came. One of my nieces was like, you ain't mess with us. Ooh, it's Black Family Day and it's my birthday. And matter of fact, that just happened 2 days ago. 2 or 3, 8 days ago, right? 8 days ago was her birthday. Same phone call. And I said, aha, that's what got me cut up the first time. No, and click. No. But, and that's what opened the door. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to the house, I'm going to a park. And it's Black Family Day. I haven't been to Salem Willow's Black Family in years. So I went. That opened the door. Because then I seen her mom, who was my friend, who I was warned not to go around. And she looked very frail and very, And there was her son, the one that I knew was abusing her. And I had words with 2 years prior. And I said something to him, and he gave me a attitude. And I said, oh, whatever. So that was that day. 8 days later, it's her mama's birthday. And I said, nah, I'm not going. My spirit said, you know what, though? She might not have that many left. She done had 5 or 6 heart attacks, strokes, and all these things going to help, So I went. Got there, stayed not too long. Like, I'm out of here. And I left. Then September 29th, Friday morning, I was with my clients, dealing with my clients, got off with my clients. Later on, I have my one on one with the other consultant. In between time, I said, I'm going to go ride to see my girl because something's telling me I got to get her out the house today. I don't know why. I got this feeling in me. I got to get her out that house today. As I was getting ready to walk out the door, warning number two. Remember the first warning in Texas. Warning number two, my dad. Where you going? Going to Jody's. My dad, disposition. Jody's. Why are you going there? I thought you said you were done with all that and you weren't going there. Why are you going there? I was supposed to think. And I said, I don't know. I just feel like I got to go. So I got in my car. She's about a 40-minute drive away from my home. I'm driving. My best friend calls me. Hey girl, what you doing? I said, I'm on my way to Jody's. Wait, she says, didn't your spirit tell you not to go back over that girl's house? I said, yeah, but something, I don't know. Everything in me says it's a beautiful day. I've been in the house. I just feel like she needs to get out the house. And my best friend is pleading with me now. You know how your spirit is, sis. And she's not a spiritual person. Not she's spiritual, like a believer, but not like, where I'm at. And she's like, girl, you know your spirit. I think you should be going, sis. And she's trying to convince me. And I'm like, nah, we cool. All right. 15 minutes of me being within that house. I had 3 bullets in me. 15 minutes. When I walked in that house, I should have turned around and walked out because it was so dark and thick. The spirit was so dark and heavy and thick. When you're around light and you're surrounded by the light, you really can feel things and see things and you really can. Okay. And I was just like, ooh. But I went in anyway and I sat down and started to have a conversation with her. And then he come barreling down the stairs, but he got a chicken bone caught in his throat and he need to go to the ER. And it's been caught in his throat for 2 weeks and all the dramaticas. And she's like, I'm not taking you. And this is the PG version of their conversation to each other. I'm not taking you. And that's when he went off about the type of mother she is and how garbage she's always been. And, and so now I try to de escalate and say, hey, you know the field that your auntie's in, right? I'm in the medical field. I pay the bills and all that type of stuff. And I'm going to let you know right now that seeing how you're sitting here talking and having this conversation and you said it's been 2 weeks, like it's not an emergency, right? So you don't want to start your adulthood in debt because they're not going to pay it. And that's going to become a bill and that's going to end up collections. You're only 20 something years old. You don't want to start going into collections. Like I know the pattern of people in the hood and people like, all that. And they share generational debt, how to get generational debt. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. So I said, what's your doctor's name? Who's your doctor's name? And anyways, you know what? I just realized I probably cannot say nothing else because we're still in court. So, anyways, I'll make a long story short. I asked one more question. What would you like to eat later on during the thing trying to de-escalate the second time? And his answer was pow, pow, pow. So yeah, but yeah, just thinking about that, I don't think should be talking about the case openly because it should have been shut in May. For whatever reason, he didn't take the deal. So Anyways, all right, y'all. For real, I'm getting off. Have a beautiful rest of your day. It's been great. I've been on this thing for a while, so TikTok should love that, the algorithm. However, I am the community restoration specialist. I don't have time to be on TikTok or anything else. I'm in the community doing what I need to be doing. I will try to give more updates as things are moving. But yes, we have been picked up by a huge marketing and network. Very happy about that. Hopefully, the package will be something that we can go forward with. Um, and we're looking for people. We're looking for women to join us, and we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for vendors. We're looking for artists to come out to our festival. All right, y'all. From my heart to yours, have a beautiful rest of your day. See you later.